This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Hey, Nat, I mentioned yesterday about the Western Bulldogs and knives would be out for Luke Beveridge.
Yes.
They were coming hard last night. They'll continue over the next few days as well. Kylie Watson-Wheeler is the president of their club. She said it's premature. You asked if someone was going to be speaking.
Yeah, has somebody said he has the full support of the board, because that is the absolute death knell for a coach.
It always has been. She wasn't speaking on behalf of the board, but as the president, she said it's way too premature to be talking like that at this point in time. But it was the talk on AFL 360 last night. Mark Robinson, who is one of the commentators there, writes for the Herald Sun. He was talking about the fact that the players have got to take some kind of
Responsibility.
responsibility for this, because they're the ones making poor decisions.
They're the ones running on the field, let's face it.
Or not running on the field.
Yeah.
They're dropping marks, they're kicking the ball poorly. But at the end of the day, the buck
That's always
stops
the way,
with the
though.
coach.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
question about it. And this is what Robert had to say about what could it look like moving forward for the Bulldogs.
Right now, they've got Richmond this week. If they lose to Richmond, I fully expect Luke Beveridge to wake up and say, right, it's been great, but I've got to go. I've got to go, and it's best for me, and it's best, certainly more so, I think it's best for the playing group.
Would Luke Beveridge walk away, or would he wait to be fired by the club? Because Robbo suggested he should put up his hand and say, OK, I'm out. But that's not how it normally goes.
Well, it didn't happen with Adam Simpson, and he's been able to right the ship to a degree, and certainly from public opinion last year, they were saying he's got to go. Like, he's won 3 games in 4 years or something stupid. And normally you don't last that way, but he's had the backing of his board, which is the West Coast.
The actual backing of the board.
Yes. And because of Harley Reid this year in particular, there seems to be green shoots, which everybody's concentrating on.
Yep.
So he's been able to stay through. The difference is that Luke Beveridge at this point in time has got a team that's, some would say, stacked with some elite talent.
Yes.
They reckon they're a bit thinner underneath the top, say, 15.
Yes.
But they've got elite talent, so that's why they're coming hard.
So they're not
for him.
realising their talent at this point.
Yeah, and they're certainly playing like a team who are lost at sea. It can change around. And it might start with Richmond this week, but if it doesn't, he's right. Sometimes you might just need to go in. I've lost them at this point in time. Might be better for a fresh start. And that doesn't mean you're lost to the league after that. Previously, if you lost your job as an AFL coach, you're gone.
Yes.
See you later.
Yeah.
But they've got to understand that these guys have got an enormous amount of experience and that they should be used
We've
in another
seen
role.
other coaches move on to other roles.
Yeah, most definitely. But then big news was what I was watching also on AFL 360 last night, and that was to do with Elliot Yeo. We know he's not going to be playing for the next couple of weeks, but Adam Simpson had a real personal remark to make about Elliot Yeo. Here it is.
I think it's a small groin. We haven't got a scan result back yet, but he missed a lot of football a few years ago with osteitis. It's not that. It's more of a pulled muscle. So
small groin.
It's a pulled muscle.
Small groin
and it's
syndrome.
A small groin.
You don't want people saying that publicly about your groin, do you?
When your coach is talking like that about you, I know you've got a tight relationship, but some things need to be kept in house. Don't you agree?
We often talk about your small groin around here,
You
Shaun.
do, but you haven't seen it now. You haven't seen it.
Oh,
Maybe the pull part's different, but certainly that part.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We're going to kick off with a giveaway straight away. How's that? A double pass to check out Fremantle Dockers take on the Sydney Swans Rove.
Oh, that's My House Divided. That's a big one. Ruby is a Swans girl. She's very happy with where they're sitting at the moment. She's born in Sydney.
Yeah,
and when she had to wear your team colours to school day.
Yes.
And as Taz is a Eagle supporter. And we're
You're
both
very divided.
As parents looking at her going, so what colours are you going to wear? And she just looked up and went, well, I was born in Sydney. I'm a Sydney girl, I guess. So,
she's a
and
diplomat.
at the time, red and white make pink, so I guess I'll go with the Swans. Even though she's a Docker tot, she doesn't realise.
She's a Docker tot?
She was the day she was born, the Dockers sent her a certificate to say you're a Dockers player, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, she is. That's it.
So we will be very much
Divided.
paying attention to this game.
So it's Friday night. We give you food and drink. Let's hear it for the Purple Army from the
Dockers
Bank.
are on the rise. Here they come. Book the bus.
Thank you. I'm with you. Bankwest best seats in the house. 13 24 10. Caller number 7 will get that double pass.
Didn't you go to the Derby, Rove?
Living in the past. Living in the past. 2 wins for the season already.
I mean, Reid is a beauty thing. He's beautiful to watch.
Well, I wanted to bring that up actually.
Here
Rove.
we go.
Well, normally.
No, I don't know him, and no, you can't hang out with me and Chris Hemsworth. Jeez, what
We're
is
more,
this?
we're more chance of hanging out with Chris Hemsworth through Rove than Harley Reid in WA.
If Shaun called and said, "Can I hang out with you and Chris Hemsworth?" or Harley Reid rang and called and said, "Can I hang out with you and Chris Hemsworth?" Who's it going to be?
Oh, don't make no.
Be
It'll be
honest.
you.
Don't make me
Macca
choose.
gets
It's
it.
obviously
Macca
Harley
gets it.
Reid.
Yeah,
Yes.
I get it. Now, over the last couple of years, there's been some ridiculously good talent come through the under-18s competition.
Yes.
So at the moment, West Coast, it's been, it's in the paper every day. I shouldn't even mention the fact that it's in the paper, but they're talking about trying to make sure that they get him in a long-term deal.
Yeah, sure.
We all fear that what's happening in the media over here could make him decide,
Drive
it's
him
easier
away.
to be over on the East Coast, and I'm just one of
It's
the
where
many
he's
players.
from, and yeah.
So he's an exceptional talent, what we've seen so far. 2 years ago, there was two other guys who were exceptional talents. One was Jason Horne-Francis.
Yes.
He plays for Port Adelaide. And one
Now.
is Nick Daicos, who's winning games left, right and centre in his third season. But last year, as his second season, he was leading the Brownlow by a country mile till he got injured the last 5 or 6 games he missed. So that was in the bag.
Yes. So this talk of Harley Reid being a once-in-a-generation player, he's not. He's not, because
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm
People
getting
are
at.
saying that.
And I want to
Yeah.
know, I actually want to know, you guys have seen enough football. Who would you choose out of the three? So you've got Horne-Francis, who...
Well, it's
He-
tough
he's had
because
a bit of
he's just
problems.
start. This is part of it, right?
Yeah.
Because he came in with a lot of hype. The Dockers had the same thing with Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, but Reid feels like he's kind of made good so far.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs a rest every so often. He can't fly to
a young
Queensland.
body.
It can't be
Yeah.
done. But I think that's what helps. But we haven't even seen a full season out
No,
of him
that's
yet
right.
to even know.
No.
I can't see him living up to the level that Nick Daicos did in the first
Daicos
year
would
or the
kind of
second
be-
year. And
Yeah.
I don't know after that. I
Yeah.
don't know after that. But
Yeah.
Daicos' first year, at this point in time, he was best on all the time. Harley's having moments of brilliance where you go, oh
and
my
with all
God.
due respect, on a team that he's not being lifted by. I mean, he and Yeo are playing well together.
Yeah, they are.
But it's
Yes.
helping lift the team. But a player like Reid in a Collingwood or somewhere like
Yeah.
that, would you even notice him as much? Would it improve him more? Because
Yes, it's all
he's,
very
he's not the
hypothetical, isn't it?
number
Yes.
one player
Yeah.
on a not very good team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who would you choose, Nat?
That's a big swing.
I mean, you've got the benefit of hindsight with Daicos. So, like, if you,
Okay, yep.
do you know what I mean? Like, so obviously we're saying we know that he did well. So you go, yeah, you'd choose him because it's a proven performance. You don't, if at the outset going in, would you have picked him? I don't know. I don't know. The
But I
answer
feel
to that.
Reid's a good.
I mean,
bet
it's not
to
bad.
place.
Yeah.
If I'm not a gambling man, but it's one of those things of like, I feel like it's an easy.
Yeah.
It's an
There's
easy
no wrong
even
answer.
odds bet or
And I
each
mean,
way bet.
the
that
Jason
one.
Horne-Francis thing is a really good comparison with Harley Reid because, of course,
It is.
he was drafted to North Melbourne and wanted to go home. And so North Melbourne lost him, and that's the potential that the Eagles could face.
And he got so much scrutiny from the
Talking
media
about people
that
being booed, he
Yeah.
was booed roundly in Melbourne for it.
He's got an enormous amount of talent. I
Yeah.
find that he hasn't got the personality of what we've seen with Harley, where he was playing, as Harley's playing now, and having a good time, right?
Yes,
He's
you can
enjoying
tell
himself.
he is really having a good time.
And it was lost. It seems to be lost for Jason Horne-Francis from the moment he almost started playing with the pressure and the hype around him. I hope that doesn't happen to Harley in the short term, that's for sure. But yeah, that's an interesting talking topic. I think Jason Horne-Francis probably comes in third in that list straight away.
Yeah, I think so.
And you're dead right now with the with hindsight we see. But Nick
Yes.
Daicos is clearly the better player.
Oh,
out of
clearly,
the-
he's an
He's
incredible
winning
player.
games. He's kicked 2 goals to win the game and getting
Yeah.
35 touches every game.
He's on a roll at the moment.
So what's he worth? If they're saying that
Yeah.
Harley Reid, they should offer him $20 million over 10 years. I can't even. It's hard to even believe that.
What is he, Kyle and Jackie O? What's going on there?
right. But is it just inevitable that any player that is drafted from the East, so it's not necessarily a choice that they're making in
No,
a
that's
trade
right.
or what
Yes.
have you, or that they were raised here? Is it just an inevitability that they head back?
Matthew
I feel
Pavlich.
like
Matthew
Adelaide.
Pavlich.
Adelaide doesn't count. Adelaide doesn't
Nobody
count.
wants to go back to Adelaide.
We are glorified Adelaide. We know that.
Yes, we are.
But it seems like there's a lot of
Yeah.
those players that they eventually just want to
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah.
There's going to be a stage where even if they fulfill a certain amount of time, that at one stage, maybe he's 25 in 6
Yeah.
years' time or something, that one of the big clubs come along
the
and
Chris
just
Judd effect.
And by
offer
that
him-
stage, has he kind of done all he can for the club anyway?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe
like Chris Judd,
Yeah.
you know.
The only way you can get him, and this didn't work for Chris Judd, is to make sure that they've got a WA
Yeah.
girlfriend that's
Yes.
got the roots right
Yeah.
here, literally.
That's what Kept have here. But Brad Hill, he was over there, wanted to come home, came home, and then went back again.
Got a better
So-
deal. He's going, nah, that's not for me.
How's that figure?
Because I think there's nothing wrong with being the big fish in the small pond.
Oh, yeah.
Like I hear Harley doesn't pay for his groceries. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff.
And he goes shopping at Herdsman. I mean, that's not cheap.
I mean, you're doing okay there. That's better than a good grocer. That's like A-list.
That's a better grocer.
They have a red rope out the front with a little a bouncer with a checklist you got to get on to even get in.
Yeah. We might throw that up on our social media, see where people vote.
Yeah, all right, sure.
Or if not, how long do you give him before he's
Shut
done?
up, he's staying. How dare you?
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.